tool. My name is Fanny Barrientos, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. Before I dive into the presentation, I do want to let everyone know that you will be receiving this recording and the presentation in the next couple of days. So don't worry if you missed something or if you didn't quite catch anything that I said. You will have the presentation and recording to refer back to. Also, there will be a live Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So in your GoToWebinar panel, there should be a box that allows you to ask questions. Please enter those as you have them on any of these parts in the presentation, and I will get to those at the end. Otherwise, I think we can go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Fanny Barrientos, and I'll be taking you on this journey. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so we'll just go over the agenda really quick. First, I'm just going to give you an introduction into marketing, and then we're going to be talking about, obviously, your website because it is what the topic of the conversation. However, we're going to be talking about search marketing as well because, of course, having a website isn't enough. That you also have to be out there and be found, right, in search results. And then I'll be giving you some quick list of things you can do now to improve your search, improve your website and your search presence, and then also some additional resources if you want to dive deeper into any of these topics that I'm talking about today. Okay, so let's talk about marketing. In order to talk about marketing, let's talk about the difference between two mechanics. Okay, so I know that at some point in your lives you've been in a situation where you need to refer to a mechanic or find one, right? And assuming that the types of cars that two different mechanics can work on and services they offer are roughly the same, why would you choose one mechanic in your town over another? And the answer really is marketing. So what marketing does for your practice, like it does with a mechanic, it informs potential patients' perception of your practice. So it'll help, it'll inform patients how they feel and what they think about your practice, and it really doesn't have to make logical sense. So for example, it could invoke a feeling of nostalgia from a practice that you know has been in the family business and your community knows about, and you know they may choose to go to you just because they know that it's a family business. Also, marketing instills trust in potential patients. Obviously, a patient has to believe 100% in your ability to provide health care for them, right? Because, you know, dentistry, there's a lot of negative experiences out there with dentistry. So marketing helps you communicate that belief before you even work on the patient. And, you know, the perception can sometimes be that you must be good if you have a nice website, likes on Facebook, and can afford to run ads. Basically, you know, you're making enough and you have patience to help you market yourself. Also, it makes potential patients aware of you, right? So most consumers will conduct online research before they even decide who to contact. So if a potential patient doesn't know you exist or can't find your practice online, of course, they're not going to consider you. So during this presentation, I want you to kind of consider, you know, what differentiates your dental practice from others. All right, so let's dive into your website. So why is having a website important? Well, of course, it's available 24/7. So, you know, after hours, people, if they have very basic questions, they can go to your website and get those questions answered. And they can request an appointment at any time during that. I know some of you may have after-hour services that will answer the phone and help with that, but, you know, it is sometimes just a little easier to fill out a form on a website. The next is, of course, easier maintenance as opposed to traditional marketing methods. So updates on a website are less taxing. If you publish anything, you can publish instantaneously versus, you know, waiting for proofs or on a print or on an ad. So, you know, if you don't like something or if you accidentally misspelled something and you catch it right away, you can fix it. And of course, if you get that on print, that's not going to be fixed very easily. Furthermore, your website is the cornerstone of all digital marketing, and I'll really be driving this point home during the presentation because really, whether you're doing PPC, SEO, social media, even just word of mouth marketing, billboards, you know, postcards, whatever it may be, people want a website to refer back to. So it really is the cornerstone of not just digital marketing, but all marketing. Furthermore, it represents your brand, right? It's an online representation of your practice, and therefore it should inspire the same confidence as your actual office. So, if you have a very clean office, which I'm sure most of you do, and keep things neat, but your website looks a little outdated or it looks like it should be kept up, it needs to be kept up, that's your first impression to a potential patient. So they're going to look at that and judge you based off of what they see on that website. Furthermore, it provides information, just like I said, it answers frequently asked questions, educates patients about procedures or maybe aftercare if you provide that content, and of course it has educational content to help you as a resource. And then obviously it generates leads, meaning that it collects information from potential patients so that you can actually get them on your books and get an appointment on. So a couple of things to consider for your practice website. You'll have to consider who's going to build, design, and maintain it because, a website is not just a one-time deal. You have to maintain it. There's ongoing maintenance. Is the design that you've chosen pleasing to others? Does the design evolve with all the other websites out there? Because, websites grow too. And what may be popular in 2017 is probably going to be different in 2020. Furthermore, is it mobile friendly? This is something that has been pushed since, I don't know, 2013 by various companies and especially Google and search results. So you really want to consider whether your website is mobile friendly. And how accessible is the information on the website? Is it easy to get to? Is it easy to navigate? Can they find the information? Is it intuitive? You'll have to ask yourself those questions. Is the content consistent with the services you offer? So I've actually worked on with some of our members, and occasionally a dentist would, want to talk about composite fillings even though they don't offer composite fillings. Well, that's a little misleading, because if you don't offer it, then it really has no business being on your website. So, if it's obviously it matters on how you position it. Maybe you want to, talk about the benefits and stuff of composite versus amalgam or whatever it may be. That's okay, but saying that you offer composite fillings when you don't, that's obviously not good. And then also, can the website capture basic patient information? And I'm just talking, just contact information, first name, last name, email address, phone number. That's all you really need on a website. And really what this all boils down to is user experience. So user experience is the overall experience of a person using your website, especially in terms of how easy or pleasing it is to use. So there are really 4 components that sort of factor into user experience, and I've kind of already touched on it with with the considerations I presented. So first is design. How does it look? Navigation. Can patients find what they're looking for? Content. Is the information relevant to my question? And then mobile, can I find, read, and understand all of that information using your mobile device? So let's talk about design. So something interesting about design is there was a study that was conducted by, I believe it was Forbes, and basically it said that design elements are exponentially more powerful than content in terms of mistrust. When asked to describe why, people being researched mistrusted a website, 94% of comments were directly related to web design elements, while only 6% referred to specific content. So it really just came down to that first impression, right? They looked at it, judged it, and then decided from there whether they could trust it. So what are some things that cause mistrust? Well, busy or outdated layouts. Like I said, website design is an ongoing thing. You have what was popular in 2015 may have changed a little bit now. Pop-ups or flashy ads, those are really annoying and just will have someone click the back button right away. Small or difficult to read text, especially for those older patients who already have trouble reading small text. You don't want to create that even more of a headache by having small text on your website. And this is especially important when it comes to mobile devices because it's already a very small screen, so you want to ensure that the text as it is displayed on a mobile device is easy to read. On the flip side of a busy layout is a boring design, design that's lacking color, and then there's also too much color that can just distract from everything. And I think the most important one is slow load times. We live in a world now where we want everything right away in a fraction of a second, and frankly, if if your website takes a long time to load, more than I would even say a second, then people are most likely going to hit the back button and go back to the search results. All right, so I wanted to give you an example. So at first glance, this website isn't terrible, but there's definitely room for improvement. You can see here that, this right here, this pixelated picture is actually, let me get my little laser pointer. This right here, this pixelated picture is something that we call Flash. That's outdated technology. So right away, they're giving themselves away as an outdated practice. And then, these social media icons, really, this up here should be the navigation because that's just an intuitive place to put a navigation bar. And that actually leads me to the next part, is navigation. So in another study, it was found that people cannot find the information they seek on a website about 60% of the time. So this was a research by the user interface engineering company. And that's really important because you want people to be able to navigate your website to get the answers that they need and even just to contact you. If they can't find where to contact you, you're not going to be contacted. So there's a couple of common navigation mistakes. One is having a non-standard style. So a navigation bar is below the fold or difficult to find. So typically a non-standard style on a desktop is across the top, like I mentioned before, and on a mobile device, it is in the top left corner so that people that are, the majority of the world is right-handed, they can reach it easily. Of course, there's some exceptions for lefties, but they already have to navigate a world of righties. The next is going to be too many items on your navigation, and this is something that is actually very common with a lot of dentists. And the rule of thumb is to have 8 items or less, with the most important ones being at the beginning or at the end. And that's because people can remember what was at the beginning and at the end, but they don't typically remember the middle. So you want to put typically your welcome page at the most left of the navigation bar, and then your contact information on the most right. Okay, the next is content, and this is really referring to the copy and pictures and everything on your site. So there's a few common mistakes with content. The first being that there is no purpose really or direction on the page. So how to fix that? You have to include specific calls to action on each page so visitors know what you want them to do next. So, let's say you're on a procedures page, or let's just say, you're talking about a checkup, right? Just a hygiene checkup or whatever. The next thing that probably that person is going to want to do is they're going to want to contact you to schedule that appointment. So you have to provide either a form or a link or something that directs them to that so that they're able to contact you and schedule that appointment. Not all calls to action are going to be scheduling an appointment. It could just be like, hey, check out this article or this blog post that I wrote for more information on, let's just say, composite fillings again, and you direct them to a blog post if they want more information. That's a call to action. You just want you want to provide the next step. The other one is having too much copy. So having content, your content should be concise, digestible, and to the point. Frequently there's this phenomenon that happens where people will have a wall of text, and it's basically just a lot of paragraphs that are not broken out by bullets or headers or anything. It's not structured in a way that's digestible for people to be able to skim, because people don't actually go in and read anymore. They just kind of skim the headers to try and see if this is the right direction to go with their question. And if they find something that somewhat answers their question, then they'll actually go in and read the copy. But your content should really be broken out with bullets and headers and maybe a couple of diagrams if you think that's necessary, and that way people at a glance can determine whether that copy is relevant to them. On the flip side of that, we have not enough copy. So you want to provide value to visitors and educate them about your services and procedures, and give just enough description to help them understand what it is that you're talking about. So it definitely is a line that you need to walk. And that's something that you could easily pass on to your hygienist or maybe your front desk person to kind of have you review, and just as a gut check let you know, hey, does this copy make sense? And then just having like someone help you edit would definitely help. The next, of course, is having sloppy content. So you'll want to ensure to double check grammar and spelling to avoid looking unprofessional. Like I said, basically anything can turn off potential patients. If they perceive you to be careless because of a typo on your website, then they're going to, wonder how careful you are with them as a patient. And then, of course, the next one is your website mobile friendly? So this right here on the left side, you see this is my sample website that I just built to give you guys an example. This is a mobile-friendly design. Here we have the navigation. Here's this one, a navigation bar. And then you can see the copy is big enough to read on a mobile device. Here on the flip side, on the right-hand side, I mean, the web page doesn't load correctly on a mobile device, so the copy actually overlaps and you can't really read it. So, you'll want to ensure that your website is definitely not doing this. Okay, so let's talk about search marketing because really having a website and search marketing go hand in hand. All right, so first let's talk about what it is and why it's important. Search marketing is the process of improving website visibility and traffic from search engines through paid and unpaid efforts. It's part of a larger marketing strategy that focuses on allowing people to buy from you rather than you selling to them. Do you guys understand the difference? They're actually looking for you. They're actually interested in finding that information at that moment versus with, like a radio ad, you're interrupting their day. They're probably just driving stuck in traffic and they really don't want to hear about dentistry at that point. So not too bad traditional marketing. Sometimes you'll catch them at the right time. So there are two types of search marketing. So there's search engine optimization, which is the practice of earning traffic through unpaid or free listings, but it is more work. And then there's pay-per-click advertising, which is buying traffic through paid search listings. Okay, so I'll show you what that looks like to a user, or maybe even yourselves. You'll start recognizing this. This is how they appear. A pay-per-click ad is typically the first 3 to 4 results on a search engine results page. And because legally Google has to disclose that there's an advertisement, you'll see this little ad icon right here. And then, but as you can see, it looks like any other search result other than this little icon. So it'll typically show on the 4 here. The next part is going to be organic listings, and this is where SEO is really addressing their search results. So this is the snack pack here, and this is obtained organically, so it's not something that you can pay for, at least not yet. And organic results show map listings, so in their geographical area. So when a person is searching, like say for example here in New York, it'll actually give them the geographical location of those offices. And then the next is going to be just your pure organic results under the snack pack, right underneath it. And this is where you see the listings that you're used to seeing, numbers 1 through 10. And your practice should appear somewhere among these 10. Okay? So all in all, to the searcher, all results essentially look the same. Some searchers do know that the very top are ads, but because those ads are so targeted, they are very likely to click on those and learn more. Okay, so why is search marketing so effective? And really, it just comes down to inbound marketing. Search marketing is a part of a larger marketing strategy that focuses on people allowing, again, to buy from you rather than you selling to them. They're focused on finding that information, so they're not going to be distracted by other things. All right, so let's talk about search engine optimization. All right, so here we have a little miniature screenshot of what it looks like, right? So search engine optimization is the process of maximizing the number of visitors to a particular website by ensuring that the website appears high on a list of organic, so anything from here below, results returned by a search engine. And the reason why you need SEO is because users trust search engines. Google spent a lot of time figuring out how to bring up results that are relevant to people's questions or search queries. So people are just, there's this misconception, I should say, that if it's on Google, it must be true. Well, that's really not the case, but they just, people do tend to trust Google. So really what Google is telling them is that if a website, or what they are perceiving is that if a website ranks well, it tells searchers that this website has the information you want. The other thing is too is that your competition is already doing some shape or form of it. SEO in itself is not new. The tactics and techniques definitely change over time, but really SEO was born the minute search engines happened. It delivers new patients at a great ROI, because you really don't spend a lot of money on SEO compared to the number of patients that you could bring in. So let's say the lifetime value of your patient is, I'm just going to throw a number out there, $6,000. You could invest that amount of money could potentially pay for an SEO program in a year. So as long as you get one patient from organic results, you've already broken even. If you get obviously more patients throughout the year, then you're already making a profit. It helps patients find you when they're looking for services you offer, and of course everyone is searching for businesses online. That's the first step to finding anything, so you want to ensure that you're there at the very top of organic results. Okay, so let's go over this. So search engines have three major functions. It's to find and categorize all websites and web pages on the internet, help people find what they're looking for instantly, and recommend the best websites to list them on a page one, and actually rank them right from best to worst. And that's really where SEO was born, is marketers found out that's a very powerful tool, so they want to target top rankings. All right, so SEO is made up of two components. It's basically on-site optimization, which are things that you do on your website and its pages to improve its rankings. So that's where really having the website is very important. You can't rank without a website. And then also off-site optimization. So there are things that you do outside of your website, but all related to your website in order to improve your rankings. And I'll go over both of these. So how on-site SEO works is basically search engines crawl your website to understand what it's about. And the two places it'll look is the actual content on your site, whatever you see here that's, text, and the metadata coded onto your website. And that's actually copy that's coded into the guts of your website. And that's not evident by looking at a page, but you can find it. And this is how it shows. So metadata is actually this little snippet you see here in search engine results pages. Your page title is this first part, the one where you see in blue or purple, and then your meta description is provided on the page, and that typically shows in gray right here. The reason that's important is because you're basically telling people before they even click onto your page what that page is about. So if the meta, or if any of this text actually says the keywords that they use to search, it'll bold them, and it's essentially signaling to the searcher that this is the page you want to continue to. So, it's a very important piece of what we call click-through rate. All right, so how do you choose your content for SEO? Well, the top three things to keep in mind when you're choosing content is to think about the searcher intent, and include topics or keywords that align with your practice's marketing goals, right? So you'll have to find that overlap on what searchers are using, what verbiage they're using to find your services, and then and what they would say to find the services that you actually want to promote. So say, for example, dental implants, right? So a searcher may not necessarily know that something is called a dental implant. They may phrase it a little differently, but that's okay. Your top keyword is dental implants. So as long as you include some of those search phrases and look for them, and get ideas by typing in dental implants into Google, it'll give you a variation of other keywords that people use to search, so you can start getting ideas. And then, of course, when you're writing your copy, you want to sound natural. There is this, I've seen it happen before where people put a lot of keywords into one page, or just say dental implants over and over and over again on the page, and that just gets redundant. It turns the user off, and Google can pick up on that. So just make sure that your copy sounds natural. All right, so off-site optimization, I said again, is stuff that happens around your website. It does not happen directly on your website. You can't change anything directly on your website to really influence it, right? So it basically comes down to two things, backlinks and local business listings. Backlinks is a hyperlink from any other website that points back to your own. So to give you an example, let's say you're a referral-based doctor, right? and you have several doctors out in your community that refer to you as a specialist, right? So let's say you're an oral surgeon. Those doctors, those general dentists that refer to you for oral surgery, they could potentially include a link from their websites to yours, and that right there is a backlink. The other thing too is you want your backlinks to be relevant to your industry. So, referring doctors is a good one. And you also want it to be locally relevant. So something that may not be related to your industry is like if you have a speaking engagement at an elementary school and they add you to their events board, to keep parents notified of what's happening in the teacher's classroom. That teacher, since a lot of this is published online now, could add a link to your website so they can find more information about who you are and why you're speaking to the class. So, that's a community backlink that's very relevant to your location, so that's also a very good backlink. The next part is going to be local business listings. So basically what this is referring to is your Google Maps listing, Yelp. I know a lot of you guys don't like Yelp, but it's still very important in dentistry. And even just more of your minor ones like let's see, what's that one? Health Grades, there we go. Health Grades or Vitals or any of those. Those are, all directories that are specifically for dentists, but also have your practice address, your name, your address, and your phone number, which is what we call NAP data. And briefly, NAP data is basically, think of it as your business or your dental practice's social security number on the internet, right? It's how Google and other search engines identify you geographically to other people. So you want to ensure that that social security number or NAP data is the same all across the board, whether it's in Google or Yelp or Yellow Pages or Health Grades or whatever it may be. It has to be the same, exactly the same phone number, address, and name. Okay, so you have to agree. If you have a partnership with, another practice across the street, and that's where it gets a little tricky, but you essentially want to have the same name if you're the same business. So what that means is you want to claim all your profiles to fix all that information. Sometimes, it'll just be your dentist's name. It'll be backwards, so it'll be last name, comma, first name, and Google search results. So you'll want to claim it and verify it to fix that and actually put up the proper name of the practice. And then you'll also want to remove any duplications within a directory. So if you have multiple listings in Google Maps for your practice, then you'll want to get rid of the extra ones. So a couple of key considerations when really taking on SEO, whether you're doing it yourself or having your nephew do it, or if you're hiring someone. Consider your website presence and the condition of your website online when starting SEO work. Not everybody has the same starting line, so you'll want to measure yourself against yourself. Because, the person at the very top of search results, you don't really know what they're doing to be there. It may seem like their website isn't that much better than yours, but you don't know what kind of off-site profile they have or what kind of backlinks they have that gives them that authority. Also, you'll want to establish some benchmark metrics before starting a campaign. So basically, you can do this by going to Google Analytics and looking to see how much organic traffic your website is receiving, and that'll give you an idea of where your starting point is, and from there you can look at how it changes as an SEO program is implemented. Another thing to consider is your market, where you are. Your competition in your market is definitely a huge influence on how easily or how difficult it'll be for you to move up and down in search results. Typically, the more competition, the harder it is to move up, especially once you get to those top 5 positions on Google. It's very difficult to do. So it's not something that happens, overnight. And then also measurement with SEO reporting is essential. I've already touched on this. Organic rankings and traffic increases over time. That's really what you should be looking for. So you want a higher ranking and more traffic. You don't want a higher ranking than so-and-so or more traffic than so-and-so, because really you may have started at different points. You can monitor key metrics like bounce rate, sessions, page views, keyword rankings, and Search Console. Any of this information will kind of help you gauge where you're starting and where you want to go. And the most important thing to remember is that SEO takes time. I'm not talking about a couple weeks. It does take, months and potentially years, depending on where you're starting from, for SEO to get you the results that you want to be on that top page. All right, the next, we're going to go ahead and talk about pay-per-click. If you guys don't completely understand SEO, that's okay. You're not supposed to. If you're interested, I will be giving some resources at the end of the presentation so you can look into it more. So don't worry if that was your first pass at SEO and you didn't quite catch anything, there will be some material provided to help you understand SEO a little bit better. All right, so let's talk about pay-per-click advertising. So this is a way of using search engine advertising to generate traffic to your website. And as the advertiser, you only pay when your ad is clicked on, not when it shows. So when it shows, that's what we refer to as an impression. When it's clicked, that's just click, right? So with a lot of other traditional ones, you're kind of looking at cost per impressions model. This is a cost per click model. It's a highly targeted form of advertising that gets you in front of people in your area who are looking for the services that you offer. So let's talk about why PPC can be critical to your success. You only pay when someone clicks, right? So that allows you an accurate budget management and tracking. You reach new patients at the right time with the right ad. So you can target prospective patients in their immediate geography and get in front of them right when they're searching for the services that you offer, because it depends on the keyword that they type. Only then will the ad show, right? It's not just going to show randomly when they're searching, I don't know, Selena Gomez or something. The next thing is that results show quickly, whereas with organic SEO, it's definitely the long con with SEO. With PPC, it can be started almost immediately, relatively quickly, and you can see results almost instantaneously. So, it'll take maybe a couple of weeks, but at least it's not months or years. All right, so let's compare PPC and SEO. So pay-per-click, the major difference is that you pay to play. And I'm not going to go over all of these, but essentially it relies on bidding and it depends on keywords. So you'll have to monitor what the amount that you're bidding on specific keywords, and you can choose which keywords you want to target, right? And you also have this the ability to choose negative keywords. So it's keywords that you don't want to show up for, like free dentistry, right? A lot of people want to avoid that one. So you can input that and they won't show your ads for that keyword. You can do A/B testing, and it's very easy to determine ROI because the dashboard provides a lot of information for you. And you can improve quickly and target the audiences in multiple geographical locations. And you're not constrained to one geographical location. So that leads me to the differences with search engine optimization. You rely on relevance and authority, and keywords are targeted by content, not bidding. So the thing that happens with this is that you can't exactly choose which keywords you want to show up for. Like, say for example, you want to show up for just the keyword dental implants, but Google may not show you for dental implants per se, but they'll show you for dental implants in, I don't know, Los Angeles or wherever you are, right? So it's a little bit of a longer tail keyword, a longer phrase. And it's not exactly what you were looking for, but it's close. But you don't really have a lot of control over which ones you want to choose. There's no such thing as negative keywords in SEO, so that's out the window. Keywords are and then there's no such thing as negative, and improvement in visibility is much slower. And the thing with SEO, it's hyper local. So search results will be personalized according to wherever the searcher is located geographically. So if let's say I am in, you guys know neighborhoods in Los Angeles. I am in West Hollywood, right? And I look for dentist near me. That's my search query. It's going to be a different set of search results if I am physically in West Hollywood than if I am in, let's say, in Manhattan Beach, right? So those two locations are somewhat near each other, but it's different enough that Google will, definitely pick up on the differences, and they will only show for my search results depending on where I'm located. I don't even have to tell it that I'm in West Hollywood or Manhattan Beach. It'll just pick it up on my GPS location. So that's the thing, is that with pay-per-click, you can extend to wherever geographical location you want. The similarities, keyword research is vital to the success of the channel, and results appear essentially the same to searchers. All right, so you can actually, use information from one strategy to inform the other one. In this case, it's very easy to take data from PPC campaigns to inform your SEO strategy. And one way to do that is by sharing keyword data. So you need to do keyword research for both anyway, so you can use that research to inform both strategies. And you'll want to look at competition, suggested bid, search volume, and it can help you create your content strategy for PPC and SEO landing pages or the pages on your website. So let's say, for example, you're looking at using San Francisco dentist versus Bay Area dentist, right? Search volume for competition is 100 to 1,000 monthly searches, respectively. And then suggested bid is $11 for San Francisco versus $4 for Bay Area, at the keyword that says Bay Area. Monthly searches and competition for both phrases are basically equal for both phrases, but the thing to look for is the bid price, how much it costs to bid on that keyword. And bid prices indicate higher competition for San Francisco because other dentists are bidding aggressively. So in a bid strategy, you know, it's a lot like eBay. Someone will place their bid, and then someone will one-up them, and then someone else will one-up them, and it'll just drive the price up. So it's the same way with keywords. You know, if there's a really high bid price, it probably means that other advertisers are targeting that keyword. You can use that information to determine how you want to optimize for those keywords. So really, at that point, you have a decision, right? You can either bid for the very expensive keyword and try that out on PPC and see how it goes, or you could also use San Francisco to optimize your website, hope that it, ranks for San Francisco dentist, and bid on the lower priced keyword so that you can spread your budget out or stretch every single dollar you have for your budget. It's a couple of decisions. Some people may go one way, some people may go another way, but it really just depends on what you want to do. All right, so the other thing too is you can inform your content strategy, and that's because PPC gives you instant feedback on the content that performs best. So PPC ads can help you understand which page titles and meta descriptions are most effective, and this comes down to conducting an A/B test on PPC. So an A/B test basically tests different elements of, it can in various ways, or an ad copy A/B test will test different elements in the ads, right? So for this right here, let's see, we have, okay, so we have different descriptions, right? So everything else in test A, this is test A, test B, there are different descriptions. The first one says, teeth cleaning and fillings, call now for a special low price. This one says, now your Bay Area family dentist, call now for a special low price. So it's basically saying, it's testing, is it more effective to include teeth cleanings and fillings, or is it more effective to say Bay Area in the description? You don't know, that's why you test. From there, you can figure out which one has a higher click-through rate and then determine what else you want to tweak. Basically, once you find a winner, you can use that ad copy on your website in your metadata because you know already from PPC that people are more likely to click on one over the other. And so that's really the easiest way to conduct any A/B test. All right, so there's a couple of strategies that you could do, that you could conduct with both PPC and SEO, depending on what you want to do. The first is search engine results domination, and the objective here is to take over a search results page and beat out the competition. So this is ideal for established practices that have a clear understanding of what their profitable keywords are, and have optimized their website for those keywords and have bid on them in PPC. This is the most aggressive strategy because it requires expertise in both SEO and PPC, but it can help you identify and utilize the same keywords in your PPC and SEO content strategies as your competitors. And then also, but the thing is, it'll require you to hold position 1 in organic search results in the snack pack, and then you'll also have to focus your spend on a specific set of keywords that could potentially be more expensive if they're highly competitive. So it really just depends on how aggressive you want to be with your competition. But what this ends up looking like is you'll see yourself in the top, ads in search engine results page, in the maps below that, and then in the organic results below maps. So really, when a searcher sees you, they'll just see you all over the page. The next is a search visibility boost, and this is really just to show on page 1 of search engine results while your SEO strategy, takes hold and is launched. So this is ideal for new practices or practices that are just starting with search marketing. You can perform extensive keywords research to find out which keywords on your website you should optimize for, and you can run ads for specific keywords while waiting for your website's optimization efforts to show results, right? So again, going to dental implants, let's say I just want to run PPC for a short time, let's just say 3 months, while my SEO is taking place. So the keyword that I care about most is dental implants, so I'm going to target that in PPC, and then once it starts ranking for SEO, I can take that one down. And that's really all you're doing. You're just kind of, you're just helping out or give a little bit of boost to the keywords you care about. You can test keywords with PPC ads to discover which ones you should use and optimize on your website. So if you find that you're not getting a lot of clicks for, you know, dental implants, then maybe you can prioritize another keyword. All right, the next is going to be extending to a new market. So you can appear in surrounding areas you're particularly interested in targeting. Maybe these areas are people that have more disposable income and are more likely to have cosmetic procedures, right? So veneers, teeth whitening, anything like that. And this is ideal for new patient acquisition from surrounding cities. So you just let SEO do its thing. If you're already ranking, you're probably just ranking your own area. So then you optimize your website to that specific city, and then you use PPC to target the neighborhoods around you. All right, so this couple of action items for you guys, and this is if you have a slide that you want to go back to in the presentation, this is slide 47. These are things that you can implement now to help your website. And that is to optimize your website for search users and search results. This is a list of everything that you can do to help you out. I'm not going to go over these myself, but I would encourage you to click on these links here where you see in the blue. These are all tools that can help you achieve each of these items, okay? And if you're curious about, you know, SEO or PPC, if you want to consider PPC or you don't really know what it's about or how it works, there are all of these resources here for you. Some of them are mixed for SEO, some of them are mixed for PPC, some of them are just, especially here for Google My Business. If you need help claiming your Google My Business profile, if you do nothing else after this presentation, then at least do this. Claim your Google My Business profile. Go to each of these links. These are tutorials from YouTube put up by Google to help you walk you through the process of claiming your Google My Business profile. And it's absolutely free, and it takes like 15 minutes to do. All right, so there's a couple of things you guys should consider before hiring an online marketing provider. And just really be introspective and consider these of yourself. You know, what technical and financial ability do you have? What comfort level do you have with HTML? Do you have time? Do you have a budget? How competitive is your market? Think about what you can do on your own. You can update content. You can update your keywords. You can update your template. If you're not ranking whatsoever, then you probably need a little bit more than just updating that information on your website. You probably need a keyword strategy in place. So that's something that you'll need to consider. And then think about how an SEO expert can help. Experts know how to get results. They get better keyword selection because they've been doing this for a while. And then, you know, they can provide metrics and evaluation, not only help you give you those metrics, but also interpret what it is that that information means. And of course, you guys know that we're always here to help. So if you have any questions about any of this, please, you can download your definitive guide to online marketing for dentists if you just need somewhere to start before you can have a conversation about this. That's a free white paper that we give. And then if you have any more questions, please feel free to contact us by visiting the website or calling this phone number and scheduling an appointment with an internet marketing advisor or your account manager. That way you can really go over each of these things and see if this is the right fit for you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and see if we have any questions. We have a couple of minutes. I actually had a really good question. I gave this lecture over at the LA Dental Society a couple months ago, and one question that came up that I thought was, you know, fair and intriguing was, is like, isn't it kind of, I don't know, cheesy to advertise on search engines? Like, don't patients interpret that as you not being able to rank in search results? And the truth is that, you know, that screenshot that I had where the ad icon is green, that's actually changed now. It's just it's just a green outline now, so it blends in even more into the page. It's very subtle. So basically, people will look at that and they'll be like, oh, that's, yeah, it's an ad, but they won't really realize until after they've clicked on it. So I don't know, it's not cheesy. And the thing is that these ads are very targeted. So people don't mind getting ads when it's relevant to their question, when it's relevant to what they're looking for. It's just annoying to get ads when you're trying to go about your day and you get a random ad about dentistry when you're not even thinking about it. So if you're going to do any advertising, I'd suggest that you try out PPC. You can always cut it if you don't if it's not effective, or if you feel that it's not for you, but I would definitely at least try. Okay, so I'm just going to have a couple more questions. Okay, so here's one on Google My Business. Basically, it says, how do I start the process of claiming my business profile? So I'll show you guys. One second. All right, can everyone see that? Yep. Okay, so go to gybo.com. All right, oh cool, they changed the layout a little bit. Coming soon, online business listing. View my listing, type in your city or business name. John Lottie DS. Okay, yeah, let's go that way. Let's see. Okay, so once you type your business in, then it'll give you an address of the things you're referring to, so it'll autofill. Then you'll just click on it, and then it'll help you how to get started, and it says, here's what you can do to improve your listing. Add more photos, confirm your hours of operation, double check your phone number. This will basically walk through your own specific listing and help you get through that. Okay? Speaking of which, I really do recommend that you look at this specific blog post. I'm just going to go over here. So we're just going to search duplicate. It is linked in the presentation, but I want to point out this specifically because it is something that goes hand in hand with claiming your business listing. And it's why duplicate listings are bad for your dental SEO. It'll basically give you common duplication scenarios and what you need to do to fix them. So that's basically a tutorial to help you how to fix it. There's also a list of common directories for dentists down here. So you can go ahead and click on those and you can claim those, but definitely prioritize Google. Google right now is king of search results, so make sure that at least your ducks are in a row in that search engine. Okay, let's see if there are any other questions. Okay, looks like the questions have kind of slowed down a little bit, so for the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the presentation. Thank you so much for everyone that took time out of their day to join. Again, the recording and presentation will be available in the next following days, so keep an eye out on your inbox and you'll receive this. I'm going to hang tight for just a couple of minutes, see if there are any last-minute questions, but otherwise, have a great day.